do in the future? If you look at this picture and you first thought of your future, please raise your hand. Okay, if you looked at this picture and you thought of your past, please raise your hand. Very good. For the third question, if you looked at this picture and you saw yourself right here in the middle at this moment, please raise your hand. Very good. I have the treasure here in this picture, in the middle. The treasure is you, here in this present moment. The treasure is now, it's our experience, what we do right this moment, what we feel, what we think, and the choices we make. The choices we make now will make us tomorrow. Right now, our presence determines our future. The time is clicking, the time is passing. We can't change the past. We can only imagine the future. But we can experience the present right now. Yesterday, maybe some of you experienced what I experienced. We didn't know if suddenly our lives had come to a halt when a hefty earthquake shook the very core of Dhaka, Bangladesh. My kids were screaming, my heart was racing, and for a moment I thought my life had been ended. Suppose your life was ended yesterday. The question is, what are the footprints you leave behind you? Your children, your friends, the ones you love, and even the ones you hate, the only thing they can remember or see is the choices you made that left behind a trail of footprints. Your legacy, your generation will follow after you. So today the question is, what choice will you make to determine your imagined future and leave behind a legacy of hope, a legacy that you are proud of? Let's choose presence. Is everyone here? If you're here with me now, please raise your hand. Are you really sure? I saw that some of your hands are not here. Some of you are lost in thought, somewhere else. Maybe you're anxious, maybe you're desperate for relief of this long day sitting here listening to speeches. Well, I have something to tell you. According to a Harvard researchers, they discovered that the human brain spends 47% of their time lost in thought, random thought, dreaming maybe of the future, thinking about the past. Can you imagine? That's almost half of our lives lost because we missed the moment we have here to live, to make a difference, to look our kids in the eyes, to laugh and smile together, to enjoy, to make a choice that is difficult, but that will leave a legacy behind me that I am proud of. So many times we ask our children, what do you want to be in the future? Instead, what if we told them, what do you want to be proud of right now in this present moment? My past, my future equals my present moment. Because the choices I make here right now, at this moment, determines my future. My past is gone, and all I can imagine is the future. For me, I will share some of my life story and the things and experiences in my life that determine who I am here today. This is my mother, my beautiful mother. She gave birth not only to me, but to 15 brothers and sisters. These are my 9 brothers. And this, my beautiful 6 sisters. And this is my father. There's nothing more powerful than the influence of a father. Does any of you agree with me? Yes. I have a story to tell you to help you understand why I am in this random country called Bangladesh. The $1 million question that I get asked almost every day repeatedly is, why did you leave America? There's something called the American dream. I don't know if the American dream can really be lived here in Bangladesh. So yes, the answer is, I did give up the American dream. In the midst of difficult situations, I had a dream to play the violin since I was very young. I begged my father, buy me a violin. I want to learn it. I want to learn it now. You know what my dad said? No. He said, I will put all of the instruments on a piece of paper, put them in a box, and the one you select will be the one you will play. I became very angry. How could he say this to me? I didn't want my life to be determined by fate, and I even told my siblings it better not be the mandolin, because I hated the mandolin. Well, I didn't have a choice. My dad said I had to play the mandolin. And I was just a 12-year-old, and I gave it everything I had. Sometimes I think I even played with anger. I can't express the dedication I gave to that instrument. And then it gets even worse than this. He said, I will not let you have lessons. I didn't have access to YouTube videos. I didn't have access to anyone else that knew how to play the mandolin. So now here I am, stuck with the mandolin, and I had to learn it on my own. So before I knew it, I was in a family band. We were performing at concerts. I was a singer, only at the age of 12, and I never had a lesson. A year later, we were at a national conference where famous bands are playing and they're jamming together, and I became known and famous for the little blonde-headed girl that watched people carefully when they played and then began to follow them. I saw their fingers moving, I tried to mimic them, and then one moment that changed my life was the moment that the most famous band suddenly called me out as I sat in the front. They said, "You know, I don't remember her name, but the little girl that plays the mandolin without lessons, please come to the stage. We want you to perform with us in front of thousands of people for our first song." Stories like this change and make us who we are today. Imagine I had been angry and not allowed myself to learn. This is another story. I think I tried to be different than my 15 siblings, so I came up with strategies and ways to be myself, ways to be unique. I didn't really want to fully rely on my 6 older brothers to help me with everything. So since I loved horses, I breathed horses, I lived with horses, I trained horses, I barrel raced, I stood on their back and galloped and ran through the open fields. I had this determination that I would put food on the ground at an age of only 3 years old. The horse would eat, and I would jump on their neck, and they would throw me on their back. And then my parents and my brothers would see me and say, "That's so dangerous, what did you do that for?" And then I would wait for the next time they're not looking, and I would do it again and again and again. I always challenged the systems. You know, if anyone here in this room knew me more than 10 years, they would be laughing very hard because they know that's me. It didn't matter if I was riding a sheep. I would always take something to the next level. On the sheep, I would ride down a steep hill as fast as I could. And yes, many times I fell off, and I got stomped on, bruised, hurt. That didn't bother me. I got back on and did it the next day because it was easier. I didn't have to walk the whole mile. I was able to ride the sheep. And a fun story. I have a medical training now, but you know, my medical training started from a very young age as my uncle was a veterinarian. He made me perform my first C-section at the age of 8 years old. Who here is willing for me to perform their C-section? Everyone say no. It's a good thing because, you know, I rescued the baby, but the mother died. The good news is, it was only a sheep, and the sheep wasn't supposed to live anyways. So I actually was able to rescue the baby instead of letting both of them die. Thank God. I have so many stories, I won't tell you all of them. I rescued birds. They always seem to die. I always seem to end up in a heartbreak. I would love and love and love. I had such a big heart that one day I grabbed a whole litter of little baby chickens and I squeezed them like this because I love them so much. And then later my brother came and he says, "Why did you kill 15 chickens?" And my heart was broken. I think I cried for almost a week nonstop. I felt so horrible how I had loved them to death. Everything I did, whether it was my older brother, whether it was training horses, made me who I am today, here in front of you, in Bangladesh. This story, or I should say this picture, is the very moment that made the biggest impact on my life forever. In fact, it's the reason I'm standing in front of you today. I sat on our hill. I overlooked our beautiful rolling hills, the mountains in front of us. I lived in the prettiest place in the world, the foothills of the Rockies, right beside the Colorado border. But I thought of